Hi there. I wanted to talk about YouTube BootCamp, which I've been invited to. This is actually the second time I've been invited to it. This is the second week in, and I just can't be bothered. First time around, this had to be at least 6 months ago, I got invited to BootCamp. Nothing. They didn't ask for my email. They didn't do anything. It was just part of the notifications bar of tips and things like that that they state every now and then. This time around, they asked me for my email, Ryan O'Keefe NWO@hotmail.com. I give it to them, and not much happens. The first week, I didn't get an email back or anything. Then I do get an email back. It's just here on my phone. I don't even remember the password for my email anymore. It's on my phone, and that's about as good as it's gonna get. I can't be bothered to remember it. Anyway, they did send me an email, as I said, the second week into this boot camp. What does it say? It's already week 2 of your boot camp, and there is still so much to learn about creating great content for YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I looked through it, and they were telling me stuff that was just like not important, and I have over 300 videos where I talk about all kinds of stuff. These questions are ridiculous and have nothing to do with my channel. And I don't think they have much to do with anybody's channel. I think this is just busybody, waste your time work. Anyway, there's an exam here that you can take as many times as you want. Never had to take an exam where you can take it as many times as you want, and still complete the exam until you get it right. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I go straight to exam so I can tell you some of the questions they ask, because some of them aren't even grammatically correct. You have to get 75% to pass, right? So that's not that hard. I mean, a lot of these questions do sound like common sense sort of things. Like, you should pretty much get it right. If you don't, then there's like one other answer in the multiple choice that it could be, and that's about it. But for some reason, I keep scoring 58% out of 12 questions. Now, I'm not mathematically gifted, but you can't get 58% on a 12 question test. You can get 6.96 of the answers right, but that's impossible. It's either 7, which would not be 58%, or it's 6, which is not 58%. So I guess some questions could be worth more than others, although it doesn't say that on the test at all. Anyway, just give me a moment and I'll read you one of the stupid questions they ask. What's one consistent element you can include in each of your videos that will help keep viewers engaged to the end? Well, I know multiple ways to keep people interested in a video. I don't have that problem. I know how to speak properly and keep the story entertaining. That's what I would figure would be the correct answer, but it doesn't give you that. Start every video with the same 30-second song. No, that's not going to be helpful. After a while, that gets irritating. Jason Unruh does that. Gets annoying. I mean, it's a nice little thing, but I always fast forward that. I guess if it's a catchy tune, then maybe you might get someone who's just in a trance when they listen to that quick 30 seconds of a song and they really like it. But that has nothing to do with your video. They're two separate things. You just attached it to your video. So that's not an acceptable answer in my book. Put a new song at the end of every video. Well, gee whiz. guys like Jason Derulo have never invented a song in their life, so that's going to be hard to put a new one at the end of every one of your videos. Include clips of content you showed last week before showing new content. Well, I guess that would be good for adding context to your video, but you know, you gotta make your videos a bit quick. I'm actually not that good at it. Like, for the most part, I can talk for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and a lot of my videos are that long, and it takes a commitment for my fans to actually watch a whole video. I rarely make videos less than 5 minutes. Pick a new day of the week to release content so fans have to check your channel every day. Well, there are other ways to get them to check your channel every day. You have something interesting to talk about. You don't have to pick a new day each of the week to release content. Like, how often are you releasing videos? Like, once a week? Unless you're sponsored, that's just, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to pump out stuff all the time. Alright. Like, some of the questions, they're average questions. Like, nothing special about them or anything like that. But there was one I wanted to show you, which is so grammatically stupid that it has to be read. Just give me a second to find it. There is only 12 questions, so. A fair question here is, why is it important for each of your videos to work as a standalone piece? Because it is true. You need people to understand where you're coming from, and you can't assume that they've watched an earlier video of yours where you described it. So I always make it a point where I know if I've talked about something in depth in another video, that I'll say, I made another video, this is what it's called, you can check it out, where I talk about it a bit more. Because sometimes you'll just start talking and people won't know where you're getting at, because they missed a whole chunk of the chapter from a different video. And when you make videos as long as I do, you know, you have to expect that. That's a fair question. Which of these tactics can make your video more shareable? None of the answers are going to make it more shareable. People are either going to share your video or they're not. It's there's no in between, so that's not a very good question. Which of the following topics would be considered evergreen? I don't even know what evergreen is, so I couldn't give you an answer to that. I don't think that's important. Oh, here's the one. No, it isn't the one. Similar to the one I thought. Just give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. You have a full-time job and a great idea for a show that you'd like to experiment with on YouTube. Your friend visiting from another country offered to help you film and produce your first video so he could test out his new equipment. What question should you consider before taking this opportunity? Who does that apply to? Who? Completely stupid. You're starting to launch your show idea. How many of the 10 fundamentals do you need? None are needed, but all can help. Option D is all of them. And the other one is less than half of them, at least half of them. It should be pretty obvious that it's only one of the two that's right. It's either A or D. But I've put in both answers, and I still can't get past the 58% plateau. Next question, something about a niche. Yeah, these are just terrible questions and a complete waste of my time. Like, it wasn't even worth reading them, really. They're just so bad. I am saying that YouTube BootCamp is a complete waste of time. There is nothing worthwhile from it by completing this test. I could probably do that test 100 times and I may get 58% every time. In fact, I did it 8 times and I got 58% 7 times, and one time I got 42. So they're just they're playing you around, man. It's like that scene in Men in Black. Will Smith's in that egg-shaped chair along with all those other recruits, and the question is, why are they there? And some of the guys went because we're the best of the best, and they just figured they were there because they were selected. And Will Smith was the only one who questioned, why are we here? What do they need us for? What can we contribute? And that's the same thing with this stupid program. It's waste your time. I bet if I did it often enough, I would, get the 75%. But I'm not wasting my time. They either like my videos or they don't. And if they don't, and they don't get flagged or taken off or whatever, I'm going to continue making videos. I don't honestly see any pot of gold at the end of this boot camp anyway. Maybe it's to teach you something about, you know, obeying the rules and coloring inside the lines and doing all that, but that's not creative YouTube content. If there are people who question some of my ideologies on things, question my YouTube video style, I'm willing to have an open discussion with them, but I'm not going to get the runaround on a stupid program from YouTube. I'm not wasting my time. I can't be bothered to read books as it is. There's no way I'm wasting a significant chunk of my time on a computer-generated program that's impersonal and has nothing to do with my channel. Anyway, gonna leave it at this, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.